In 2002, Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later redefined zombie cinema. Gone were the slow, lumbering undead. This film unleashed the terrifyingly fast infected. The story opens with Jim, played by Cillian Murphy, waking from a coma to a deserted London. The city's silence is haunting, and Jim's confusion is palpable. He soon discovers the world has been ravaged by the rage virus, turning people into violent, sprinting killers. Survival means constant vigilance. Every sound could bring death. Jim joins other survivors, Selena and Mark, who have learned to be ruthless in this new world. The film isn't just about monsters. It's about how people change when society collapses. Every day brings impossible choices, blurring the line between humanity and savagery. Boyle's use of digital video gives the film a raw, immersive feel. The threat is immediate, the fear relentless. 28 Days Later proved zombie films could be more than gore. They could be emotional, intense, and thought-provoking. Its success inspired a wave of fast zombie movies and TV shows. The film's impact on horror is undeniable. It set a new standard for the genre, showing that even familiar monsters can be terrifyingly new. The infected weren't just a threat, they were a symbol of uncontrollable rage and societal breakdown. The film's human drama made the horror feel real. 28 Days Later became a modern classic, raising the bar for everything that followed. It's a story of survival, fear, and the fragile line between hope and despair. The film's legacy endures, reminding us that horror can be both thrilling and deeply human. And it all started with one man waking up to a world gone mad. Before 28 Days Later, zombies were slow, shuffling, and easy to outrun. George Romero's classic set the rules, relentless but rarely urgent. Boyle and Garland shattered those rules with the rage virus. Their infected weren't undead, they were living people, consumed by uncontrollable fury. Infection was instant, spread by a single drop of blood. Suddenly, the threat felt real, biological, not supernatural. The infected could sprint, making every encounter a frantic life-or-death struggle. Hiding or planning was nearly impossible. Survival meant constant movement. The film's intensity created a new kind of panic and dread. Audiences felt the characters' fear. There was no safe place, no time to rest. This shift forced the genre to evolve, focusing on desperate escapes and high-octane survival. 28 Days Later turned zombie horror into a modern urgent thriller. Its influence spread to films like the Dawn of the Dead remake and games like Left 4 Dead. The genre became faster, scarier, and more relevant to modern anxieties. The rage virus made the apocalypse feel possible. The infected weren't just monsters, they were a warning. 28 Days Later proved the zombie genre could adapt and terrify anew. It changed everything. 5 years later, 28 Weeks Later, expanded the nightmare. Directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, the sequel was bigger, darker, and even more brutal. The film opens with a harrowing escape. Don abandons his wife to save himself, setting a grim tone. The story jumps to a rebuilt London, now a US Army-controlled safe zone. Don's children, Tammy and Andy, return as refugees, unaware of their father's secret. Their search for their mother triggers a new outbreak. The illusion of safety shatters as the virus returns, spreading chaos and violence. The film explores guilt, cowardice, and the cost of survival. Even the best plans can't contain the horror. 28 Weeks Later shows that hope is fragile and a single mistake can doom everyone. The sequel raises the stakes, proving the nightmare is far from over. The infection is relentless and humanity's struggle continues. The film's bleakness lingers, reminding us that some horrors can't be contained. The story is far from finished. Tammy and Andy find their mother, Alice, alive, but she's a carrier of the rage virus. She shows no symptoms, but the virus hides within her. Don, racked with guilt, kisses Alice, unknowingly dooming the safe zone. He's instantly infected, unleashing chaos as the virus spreads through District 1. The US Army's containment fails, panic erupts, and soldiers are ordered to kill everyone. Tammy and Andy, now targets, flee with the help of Sniper Doyle and Medic Scarlett. The children may hold the key to a cure thanks to their mother's immunity. Their escape is desperate, the city a war zone. Doyle and Scarlett sacrifice themselves so the children can escape. Tammy and Andy flee by helicopter. But safety is an illusion. The final scene, the virus reaches Paris, the nightmare spreading to Europe. The infection is global now. 28 weeks later ends on a chilling note. No one is safe. The world's fate hangs in the balance. The story's next chapter is inevitable. The horror has only just begun. After years of rumors, the saga continues with 28 years later. Danny Boyle returns to direct, Alex Garland to write. The original creative team is back. The story leaps forward, 28 years after the first outbreak. The world is unrecognizable, shaped by decades of survival and loss. This isn't just about chaos, it's about the long-term consequences of the rage virus. How has humanity adapted? What does hope look like after nearly 3 decades? The film promises to explore memory, legacy, and what it means to grow up in a broken world. Boyle's vision and Garland's writing guarantee a return to the series' raw, emotional roots. 28 years later launches a new trilogy, expanding the universe and deepening the story. The filmmakers have a grand, ambitious plan. This is more than a sequel. It's the beginning of an epic. The wait is finally over. The next chapter in this terrifying saga is about to unfold. The world will never be the same. A new era needs new heroes, and 28 years later delivers. Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Jodie Comer lead the cast, joined by the legendary Ralph Fiennes. Taylor-Johnson brings intensity and depth, perfect for a world defined by survival. Comer's character is a hardened survivor, shaped by decades of danger. Fiennes adds gravitas, promising a memorable, pivotal role. The cast blends established stars with fresh faces, reflecting a world changed by the virus. Working with Boyle and Garland, this ensemble is set to deliver powerful performances. The chemistry and talent promise a gripping, emotional story. This cast is one of the film's most exciting elements. The stage is set for unforgettable characters in a world on the edge. This time, the story unfolds on a remote island off England's coast. The isolation creates new dangers. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Survival means battling both the infected and the unforgiving elements. The island is both sanctuary and prison, its beauty masking constant threat. A small community has built a fragile peace, cut off from the world. But that peace is about to be shattered. One mistake could doom everyone. The film explores trust, leadership, and the pressure of isolation. The threat of infection is more claustrophobic than ever. On an island, a single slip can mean total destruction. The setting amplifies the tension, making the horror deeply personal. The island's isolation is as terrifying as the infected themselves. 28 years later isn't just another zombie film. It's a bold reinvention. The time jump means a generation has grown up knowing only this world. The virus may have evolved, bringing new, unpredictable horrors. The film promises fresh twists on infection and survival. It's not just about action, it's about the psychology of living in a broken world. Relationships, hope, and memory are at the story's core. As the first in a new trilogy, the film sets up a larger, more complex narrative. The world is bigger, the stakes higher. This is a story about adaptation, resilience, and the cost of survival. 28 years later is horror reimagined for a new era. And 28 years later is the return of a horror legend. With Boyle and Garland at the helm, expect intelligence, intensity, and style. Newcomers and longtime fans alike will find a gripping, emotional story. The cast, the setting, and the scale promise a cinematic event. This is more than a sequel, it's a reinvention. Prepare for terror, heartbreak, and hope. The world of 28 Days Later is back, and it's more relevant than ever. Don't miss the next chapter in this unforgettable saga.